Breaking news overnight. Portland police say a man was killed in a motor scooter crash. This is a live look from the scene at Southeast 72nd in Ogden. What we know coming up. Plus,
how easily it was flipped into a horrifying scene, with kids and, parents lifting their children off the ground, trying to find shelter.
that is a shopper who ran to safety after a deadly shooting inside the Vancouver Mall, and it happened during a trick-or-treat event. Our Ashley Graham's live from Vancouver with the latest. And with Election Day right around the corner, we're getting some new insight on voter turnout in the Pacific Northwest. How many people in Oregon and Washington have already turned in their ballots ahead? Also, get ready for an extra hour of sleep. Yay! Daylight saving time ends this weekend when you need to turn your clock back. We'll talk about that too. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us Friday morning. I'm Tim Gordon, in for the guys that are usually here.
Yeah.
Drew and China.
Off, and
yeah,
Ashley's out on the big story this morning, and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So real quick, the new sunrise sunset times, as we go back to standard time, it'll basically come up roughly before 5 minutes before 7-ish Sunday morning, but then it will be, which is great, I think, but then it will be dark about 5 minutes before 5 Sunday afternoon.
That's the downside.
That's what we call the dark season. And the rainy season apparently is already here. November 1st. Traditionally, I think most people consider this day one of our rainy season. That will stay with us through March, and we are off to a good, healthy start. It is all wet, steady, widespread rain from the coast to the valley, out into the gorge, and snow levels in the Cascades at about 4,500 feet later today. There's a heavy rain area. Klaska and I, good morning. That is your heavy rain, and all this is starting to pick up heavier rain now, moving up into the Longview-Kelso area, up in Cowlitz County as well. Visibility, despite the rain coming down, is not bad. We're at 50 degrees temperature-wise. We'll be generally low to mid-50s throughout the day. The one thing I'm watching, so this morning will be the wettest part of our day in terms of steady rain. And then later today into this evening, the rain should start to break up a little bit. Here's Chris.
That'll be good because there is a lot of water on the roads. Let's take you out to the Banfield. The vapor trails coming off the cars as they make their way inbound. This is 84 out near Hollywood, and traffic still rolling along just fine. But I mean, it is a wet mess out there. Plenty of water, lots of puddles, etc. Watch your speed. Don't want to be hydroplaning out there. The good news is the freeways are relatively good shape. Unfortunately, overnight tonight, tragic news last night and early this morning with a fatal crash investigation. The traffic impact right now on Southeast 72nd Avenue, as we see the live shot here from photojournalist Alyssa Taylor, is that police tape is up and Southeast 72nd Avenue is closed near Ogden. We are hearing that this crash investigation is close to wrapping up. We'll keep you posted on this, Tim.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Yeah, we have a little more information on that. That accident happened just after 3 o'clock this morning. The live picture there you see. Portland police arrived to find a motor scooter down and the rider dead in the street. They believe the scooter was the only vehicle involved. Our photographer on scene tells us the medical examiner is there, but will not release the identity of the driver until they notify family. And in our top story this morning, Vancouver police are looking for a suspect in a shooting at the Vancouver Mall. Police tell us one person was killed and 2 others were hurt. Ashley Grams is live from the scene for us this morning. And Ashley, kind of walk us through what you know.
Tim, good morning. Hours ago, police were here clearing the Vancouver Mall, talking to people who sheltered in place during that shooting. Now, this morning, things are quiet. We haven't seen any police officers. They say there is no active threat, though they are still looking for that shooter. Police have not arrested anyone, and they have not released a description of this suspect. Now, the shooting happened on the 2nd floor inside the food court. That's where officers say they found 1 person dead and 2 people injured. Now, those 2 people were taken to the hospital, and we do not know their condition at this point. This shooting happening during a Halloween trick-or-treating event. Families and children were there in costume getting candy. We did talk with a man who was hiding with some of those families inside the Old Navy after shots were fired.
Once we were leaving, was just seeing the aftermath of just seeing all the toys and things left behind by families and strollers.
Just a terrifying experience, people running, leaving their belongings behind. Vancouver police saying if you did leave something here at the mall, you're able to come get that later today. Just connect with mall security. Tim?
Awful situation there, Ashley, though. Thank you for being there for us in the report. Well, we are 4 days out now from Election Day, and in Clackamas County, elections officials say a key piece of equipment is malfunctioning. This is the machine in question you see there on your screen, the mail ballot sorter, which has been having mechanical issues since last week. And although they fixed it a couple of times, it has continued to break down, causing a delay in the first stage of ballot processing. That's where barcodes are scanned and signatures are checked.
The crux of the issue is that we are getting jams that make it difficult to process a large volume of ballots at any one time. We are taking proactive measures to fix this and also working through the process to continue processing ballots, even without the mail ballot sorter actively functioning.
In the meantime, staff are using hand scanners to process ballots. It's an established practice, typically done in smaller Oregon counties. The county approved funding for a new mail ballot sorter last month, but that new machine will not be up and running until May. Meanwhile, things are running smoothly at election headquarters in Clark and Washington counties. Our Ashley Grams takes us through the ballot counting process with an update on voter turnout.
County election offices in both Oregon and Washington are already busy processing ballots.
Definitely the busy part of the election process.
In Washington state, these Clark County inspection boards handle thousands of ballots a day, while observers representing both the Republican and Democrat parties watch.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
As of Thursday night, about 42% of voters have returned their ballots in Clark County, nearly on pace with overall turnout in Washington state. In Oregon, statewide turnout is about 34%. Multnomah County lags behind at just over 30%. And in Clackamas County, nearly 25% of voters turned in their ballots, though the county says a mechanical issue is creating some delays with processing. Washington County, however, is above Oregon's voter turnout average.
So we have already a lot of ballots back.
When ballots are processed in Washington County, the first stop is a mail sorter that uses a signature verification software.
And then anything that is not an exact match will be looked at by a human signature verifier.
In Clark County, Washington, all of those verifications are done by people.
Every single signature on every single ballot affidavit envelope is reviewed by a human who's been trained by the Washington State Patrol.
In both states, the return envelope is separated from the ballot, ensuring every vote is anonymous. Then ballots are scanned.
A requirement is that no one knows results until after Election Day.
Same goes for Oregon.
So we don't see the results until the 8 o'clock deadline on Election Day.
Ashley Grams, KGW News.
And remember, there's still time to vote, so let's get it done. In both states, your ballot must be dropped off at a county election office or the post office and postmarked by Tuesday, November 5th. In Portland, some businesses are saying they're not taking any chances when it comes to protests or violence this election season. We spoke to several small businesses in downtown Portland, boarding up windows and putting up barriers.
We want to cover the windows just in case something happen, you know what I'm saying? But I had a feel nothing's going to happen.
Protests come. If they do, they come, and we can't change the world.
The police bureau has already canceled time off for officers and plans to have them working 12-hour shifts next week. Plus, uniformed security officers will be posted at the Multnomah County Elections Office in Southeast Portland. Well, next week, make sure to tune into our election night coverage streaming on KGW+. David Molko, Laurel Porter, and our political analysts, a great group, will break down the numbers in the key local and national races. The KGW News team will also be spread out all across the region at various election night parties. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock Tuesday night on KGW+. You can download the KGW+ app. It's free on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Well, as we start getting more snow up in the mountains, ODOT is reminding drivers to be cautious and plan ahead if you're headed up to places like Mount Hood. They recommend bringing blankets, water, and snacks in your vehicle. You should also make sure your vehicle is well maintained and has the proper chains or traction tires before heading out. ODOT says to check tripcheck.com for the latest road conditions. All right, speaking of what's going on in the mountains and in the valley as well, let's get with Rod now. And it's pretty wet out there, Rod.
It is. And we had a cruise up on the mountain yesterday. Here's one of our live Timberline cameras. Right there, you can see they're moving the snow around. This is, I believe, looking off to the east with the day parking lot, what you're seeing at the back where that one vehicle right there is driving around. But they have a good solid foot of snow that's fallen up there. And their base is now pushing about 20 inches at timberline. So there you go. Meadows has had good, healthy accumulations as well. And Ski-Bowl reporting pretty decent accumulations. Here in Portland, of course, it's all rain. We're very wet. Looking at the square in Pioneer Courthouse from the Pioneer Park building, 50 degrees is the temperature. We held basically steady last night. So it's 40s to about 50 out the door this morning. 50 in Tiger, 51 in downtown. 50 degrees in Vancouver, Beaverton, and Hillsboro. Dallas also at 50. Kaiser 51. Salem, good morning, 52 is your number. This morning looks to be the wettest part of your Friday in terms of the fact that it's widespread steady rain through at least 8, maybe 9 o'clock this morning. And then we'll get into more of a kind of occasional rain shots coming through. And then this evening, we finally get behind this 2-day rain event. And you'll notice rain is going to become increasingly scattered as drier time starts to mix in. 50s on the west side today for highs, 40s out east. Here's your weekend. 56 today. Again, drier later today and this evening with scattered showers. Tomorrow in the morning, there's a shower threat, but really it's pretty dry probably until we get into the afternoon. That's when another weather system arrives, but that should be gone for a mainly dry Sunday. All right, it's Friday, November 1st, and we'll be back on Sunrise in just a moment.